Confidence, Wellness, and Financial Power with Tamar D. Grand Rising. SHENIXPWR, welcome. Womb Sisters worldwide. Welcome to the SHENIXPWR Podcast, where women remember who they are, rise beyond survival, and reign in embodied queenship. I am your host, Honor Parrish, founder of the SHENIXPWR movement. Season 4 is our living archive of women's restoration. Here, we do not begin with the resume, we begin with the woman. We honor the wound without allowing it to define her. We receive the wisdom she earned through experience, and we witness the legacy she is still creating, because every SHERO story has the power to become another woman's permission to heal, evolve, and begin again. Today, I am honored to welcome Tamar D. Tamar is a proud native of Cleveland, Ohio, a United States Navy veteran, a certified sexual wellness coach, and a certified bookkeeper with more than 30 years of professional accounting and bookkeeping experience. Her career has been shaped by service, leadership, empowerment, and a deep commitment to helping others thrive. She empowers women to embrace confidence, healthy relationships, and sexual wellness, while also helping entrepreneurs strengthen their businesses through trusted financial guidance. Her unique journey brings together military discipline, financial expertise, compassionate coaching, and lived wisdom. But today, we are going deeper than the credentials. Today, we are meeting Tamar through 4 sacred chapters: the woman, the wound, the wisdom, and the legacy. We welcome Tamar D. to the SHENIXPWR Podcast. But she rose before this amazing SHERO, my sister. Get on the mic. I need you to grab your journal, the pen, some water, your herbal tea, a glass of wine, or a healthy smoothie. Y'all ready to dive in? Let's get it. So, before the titles, we're talking about the woman. Before the titles, the certifications, the military service, and the decades of experience, there was simply Tamar. Take us back to the woman before the world knew your accomplishments. Who was she? What shaped her? And what did she believe was possible for her life?
Grand Rising, everyone listening. So, the woman, before any of the credentials and before anyone really knew who I was, I have always been a leader. I am the oldest of 4.
Okay.
I was raised by a single mother in the city of Cleveland, in the area of Cleveland that wasn't necessarily the greatest. So yes, I grew up in the hood, and I'm proud of my humble beginnings. Those humble beginnings helped to form me into the woman that I am today. There is no greatness unless you struggle and you sacrifice a little bit. So, that's who I am. I am a humble, very loyal, also very outspoken.
Facts.
But I am the person that you want on your side at all times. And I'm a giver. So that's just who I am. I've always been that way. I'm a giver. A giver, a nurturer, and even before the children, I've always been a mother.
I love that. And been rocking with my sister for what, I believe 30 years. So
Yep.
what she just stated, I can attest to. She has embodied that. That's just who she is. So before every powerful woman becomes visible, there's usually a private season of becoming, a season where identity is being formed long before purpose has a name. And yet, no woman becomes who she is without encountering a chapter that changes her. So as we transition into the wound, Tamar, every woman has a chapter that altered the way she saw herself, her relationships, her body, her future, or her worth. What was the defining wound, challenge, or turning point that required you to confront yourself, do the inner work, and become more honest about what you needed?
I will have to say the turning point in my life was realizing that almost every relationship that I had with the opposite sex, I was encountering the same spirit, but in a different body.
That's good.
Every relationship ended the same way. It ended because of the same things. And I had to do the inner work to try to find out why I kept running into the same person in a different body.
Okay. I can relate to that. With that being said, before we transition into the wisdom extracted from those relationships, would you agree that, like you said, the same relationships kept taking place, different faces, but the same narrative?
Exactly.
Do you believe that it was something inside of you that needed to learn from that, and until you actually learned it and or grasped a concept of it, that's when you noticed things started changing?
Yes, definitely. So what I noticed was I was looking for my father and the traits that I wanted my father to give to me.
Okay.
Starting as a little girl, but even becoming, into womanhood. So, yes, I was that woman with daddy issues.
Man.
I grew up as a fatherless daughter. I had my father figures in my uncles, but it's still not the same.
Exactly.
So, there was a complex.
Okay.
There was issues with abandonment. So I found myself constantly holding on to relationships that I should have let go.
Because you felt if, based on what you're saying and what I'm receiving, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you felt that you was that little girl, and I can definitely relate to that as well, and that's amazing. And y'all, she is being honest. This is raw. We talking tears, we talking heartstrings, all of that. But when you share your truth, right, the freedom comes. So as that little girl, for not having that father, you were yearning for that. It didn't make sense because you seen others with fathers. So then as little girls, we went out looking for it subconsciously. So we was holding that energy, and we was attracting those that were unhealthy just to get a slither of having the man, but with the daddy issues, if you will. So, like you said, when you got with someone and it was already unhealthy, you ignored certain things, but then to not experience abandonment, you held on to them a little longer than anticipated, if you will.
No, that's exactly what was going on.
Okay, facts. I can relate to that too. Oh my. See, this is what it's all about, being able to share your truth, learn from it. Do not allow your past or what you did not have to make you bitter, but to strive to be that whole woman by doing the inner work, by activating the womb, by breathing through it and say, you know what? I'm not the first and I'm not going to be the last, but how can I serve as a healthy and a whole woman, if you will? So thank you for trusting us with that sacred part of your story. That was tough. The wound is never the whole woman. It may become the place where she breaks open, but it can also become the place where she finally hears herself. The place where she stops performing strength and begins practicing truth. The place where survival becomes self awareness, and the place where a woman begins to remember who she was before life taught her to disconnect from herself. So, the wisdom. Tamar, your life now stands at the intersection of the confidence, the relationships, the sexual wellness, financial clarity, and entrepreneurship. What wisdom did your journey give you that you now feel responsible for sharing with other women?
What I want other women to know and to really hear and feel is you don't forget about the things that brought you to where you are in life today. But the first thing that you must do is to honor, whether it's that little girl with daddy issues, whether it's a little girl with mommy issues, whatever those issues are, you have to honor them because you can't heal from them unless you give them the words that are needed so that you can have that breakthrough and begin to really heal and move forward with your life. You know, you can't be strong if you're still operating in fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. You work in two areas that many women have been conditioned to avoid discussing openly: intimacy and finances. Yet, both require truth, both require communication, both require boundaries, and both require a woman to stop surrendering authority over her own life. What do you believe happens when a woman finally becomes honest about she needs the emotional, the physical, relationally, and financially?
What happens is that woman begins to walk in all of her greatness. And it's not that she's looking down on anyone or thinks that she's better than anyone else, but that confidence comes from within and you can see it all over her. When that happens, the right people, the right things start to gravitate towards you.
Yes.
Instead of you pushing everything away. Everything just starts coming into your life. All the good things that you've been yearning for. All of just the abundance of things that you want in your life. Say you're a woman that wants a relationship with someone that speaks to you in your love languages.
Yes.
You know, when you put that information out there, yes, you're still going to get tested. There's still going to be some people that come into your life that may just want to play games, may just want to be energy grabbers. But once you're in that healed place, your boundaries are there, and they can't get close to you the way they used to. You no longer fear using the word no.
Yes, empowerment.
You no longer fear rejection or abandonment because you've learned to date yourself. You know, I still have a date by myself once a week. You know, I will take myself to dinner. I will take myself to a movie. I will take myself to a wine tasting. And that's what we have to do. You have to date yourself so that when the right person comes into your space, they can't treat you less than what you would treat yourself.
Oh, I love that. That resonated with me, and I'm quite sure who's ever listening, it resonated with them. If I may say, I can relate to that. And when you are not walking in your truth, when you're not embodied in who you have always been, in your royalty and loving on you, you're allocating energy that's not you. And why even do that? So until you do the inner work and walk in your purpose and just slay and just who you are and dating yourself hands down with the self-care, the wine tasting, the movie, the dinner, there are boundaries and expectations. So someone that comes into your life adds to that and makes it better, right? So
exactly.
This is where Tamar's experience became her wisdom, and wisdom became service. What Tamar has lived through is no longer only part of her history. It has become part of the light she offers to others. So the final segment of her life is where she's currently at, the legacy. Tamar, when you look at your military service, your decades of financial experience, and I would say empowerment, your coaching, and the women and entrepreneurs you have helped, what legacy are you intentionally building right now? And before you answer that, here's a bonus question. What do you want people to remember because you are here?
Okay, so the legacy that I am leaving is for every woman, every girl to know it's okay to say no. Love you first and foremost, and always love yourself more than you love someone else.
She dropping nuggets.
Know that it is okay to not be okay all the time.
Facts.
And just because you share DNA with someone, it does not make them family. Those are just relatives. Family are those people that you have real relatable relationships with. There's a reciprocal relationship, not just with a friend, but with a family member. Family members pour into each other just like friends do, but on a deeper level. What you want to do when you're building these relationships and when you're putting yourself into a position of whether it's mother, wife, girlfriend, sister, just any relationship that you're going to have with anyone else, know that the energy that you give out should be the same energy that you're getting back. And if those people that you have around you cannot meet you where you are, then you need to exit stage left or stage right, find a new circle.
Yes. Level up. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And yes.
So that is the legacy that I want to, that I will not want to, but that I am leaving for not just my daughters, but for women in general. I also leave the legacy of making sure that we as women know that, yes, the way things are set up is your life partner is supposed to be the breadwinner, but that's not always the case. Please remember, man makes the money, money doesn't make the man. And if you're in a situation where you're bringing in more income than your life partner, do your absolute best not to emasculate that person, whether it's in public or in private, because it tears down the relationship.
Y'all, that's a mic drop. We should just stop right now. Man, somebody need to hear that one. Woo! Man. So, and we hear the words, when you hear the words, oh my God. Remember, rise, reign. What do they mean to you personally?
Personally, remember, for me, it's remembering all the things that my grandmother instilled in me as a little girl. Yes, mom was always a part of my life. She was never not there, but Granny was the cornerstone. So remembering everything that she taught me has made me who I am.
Outstanding.
So you said remember, rise,
and reign.
And reign. Okay. Rise, to me, rise above all of the pitfalls, the trials and tribulations of life. And reign, walk in your power. Whatever that is for each individual person. So for me, walking in my power, that means to share all the knowledge that I have in the sexual wellness and intimacy, letting all women know that we are sexual beings and there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to make sure you're with the right partner so that you're getting your needs met as well as theirs. And with that, there has to be proper communication.
And that is called divine alignment.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and yes. And for our inner sheroes that are listening right now, if they wanted to connect with you and journey with you, how do they get in contact with you or follow you?
Okay, I am on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
My Instagram is at I am Tamar D Lee. That's T as in Tango, AMAR, D as in Delta, LEE. I have the same information for Facebook and LinkedIn. If you need financial coaching or consultations for yourself or your small businesses. And I say small business because if you're a sole proprietor, 9 times out of 10, you're a small business owner. It doesn't mean that you have a little business. What it means is you don't have a large corporation. So if you would like to contact me for business consultations, tax preparation, bookkeeping services, my website is tdleeconsulting.com.
Love that. Absolutely amazing. So SHERO Tamar, right? Before we close, I want you to speak directly to the woman listening. She may look successful on the outside, but feel disconnected from herself within. She may be afraid to speak honestly in her relationship. She may feel shame around her body. She may be avoiding her finances. She may be carrying everyone else while quietly abandoning herself. What does she need to hear today, right now, on this SHENIXPWR podcast?
She needs to hear that you come first. You cannot pour from an empty glass. So if you're constantly giving and you have nothing for yourself, the first thing that you need to do is pull back from all of the things that you're doing. Therapy is not a bad word, and it is not a bad thing. We need it. Find a therapist that speaks your language and understands you as a person. Someone that can help you get centered and become an even better you.
Y'all, more golden nuggets. That is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing, being vulnerable, sharing your truth, being a guest on SHENIXPWR Podcast. I think after that, y'all, you haven't even sipped on your water or a little wine, take it right now. And let's individually and collectively, after that amazing segment, oh my, just swiftly place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your womb, and let's breathe in peace, love, and light. And let's let it out. Release it, release it. What no longer serves you. If anything came up while you was listening to this amazing episode and transmission, jot it down, reflect on it later, but remain present. So here's the sacred SHENIXPWR closing. Today, we met Tamar D. Lee beyond the credentials. We met the woman. We honored the wound. We received the wisdom, and we witnessed the legacy. Tamar's story reminds us that empowerment is not limited to one area of a woman's life. It is not enough to sound confident while remaining afraid to communicate. It is not enough to build a business while avoiding the numbers. It is not enough to remain in a relationship while abandoning your own needs. And it is not enough to appear strong while living disconnected from your truth. Wholeness requires honesty. It requires a woman to know her body, know her boundaries, know her value, know her finances, know her voice, and know when it is time to choose herself again. To the woman listening, you are not too old to reclaim your confidence. You are not too experienced to begin again. You are not too successful to admit where you need support. You are not too broken to rebuild trust with yourself. And you are not required to keep performing a version of strength that is costing you your peace. Your body deserves respect. Your voice deserves room. Your relationships deserve truth. Your business deserves structure. Your future deserves intention. And your life deserves the version of you who is no longer afraid to take up space within it. The wound may explain where you have been, but it does not get to decide where you are going. The wisdom is yours now in this sacred moment. The legacy is still unfolding. So, womb sis stars. Remember the woman beneath every title. Rise beyond every silence that taught you to shrink, and reign with full authority over your body, your voice, your money, your choices, and your becoming. This is Shenix Power, where women do not simply share their stories, they reclaim them, they transform them, and they use them to awaken the next woman. Until the next time, remember, rise, and reign.